Hi guys, it's Adam from Rally Road, and today we're going to be working on some bikes. So this morning, Steph and Simon have ridden down on their 300 rallies to have some suspension work done. They've been really happy with the platform so far. They've been riding these bikes since about June last year, doing lots of long distance, overland and adventure travel on them, and they're just about to head off on their next trip. But before they go, they really want to get the suspension sorted out, and that's where we come in. So we're going to be fitting our rear shocks and front end fork kits to these bikes. Simon's a taller rider, so he'll be going for the level 2, the 250mm option, and Steph's slightly shorter. She's on tiptoes on the standard bike, so we'll be putting her on the 210mm level 1. They're using a lot of luggage, gears, spares and everything like that on the back of the bikes when they're riding, so it means that they're using pretty much 2/3 of the suspension travel just stationary, sitting on the bikes alone. We've just calculated Steph's bike and she was at 68% sag, which is, you know, it's just well beyond any decent level of rider sag, and that's something we talked about in the previous video. So what we're going to do this morning is grab a coffee, get to work on these bikes, and hopefully in a few hours we'll have some big smiles and some decent suspension in the bikes. So we've just finished fitting the shocks to Steph's bike. She's gone with the level 1 210mm rear wheel travel version, and we're really happy with the results. We've managed to hit those perfect numbers of 10% static sag and 30% rider sag. So on this bike, that's 21mm and 63mm respectively. Although this shock is 40mm shorter in rear wheel travel than the standard 250mm shock, she's actually gained far more usable travel in terms of on the trail. She was using 2/3 of the standard stroke just sitting on the bike alone, whereas now we're only sitting at 30% with all our gear sat on the bike, and that leaves her with much more usable travel despite a shorter shock. We're going to get Simon's bike in next, and we're going to do the same. He's going for the level 2 250mm, and we'll see what we come up with that, and hopefully we're going to go for a short ride afterwards. Okay, so while Simon's bike's being done, Steph's been out for a ride on hers, just up to a local little gravel trail. We haven't put the luggage on yet, or the panniers, because we've just put some test settings in. But what do you reckon, Steph?
Superb. The difference is instant, you can tell. So like before, when you'd reach sort of the bumps in the road, you'd kind of wallow along and you'd kind of still doing that basically along. Now the bike just rides flat over them. Like it completely got rid of that sort of wallowing motion. And then when I went on one of the tracks, which had it was quite a pothole track, straight over the potholes, you barely notice the potholes at all, and the bike was ready for the next one, whereas before, again, it would almost like jump into the next one, whereas now you just go straight through them. Excellent. No problem at all.
And seat height?
Seat height, I'm definitely a little bit higher, as you can probably see. So I mean, I'm on a bit of a camber here, but I can just, so I'm 5'7", it's kind of average leg length, and yeah, so it is obviously, I'm on my tippy toes, but flat foot just come off slightly to the side. I didn't have any problem coming to a stop at junctions or anything like that. I just had to plan it a little bit more carefully if there was a camber, but generally pretty good. Yeah. Good
result.
Excellent.
Right, let's put your bike back together then.
Yeah, better had.
So Simon's rear shock's done. He's just getting ready to go out for his first test ride, and we put the test settings in. We're going to send him up to that same gravel lane that Steph went up to, and hopefully we'll get the same sort of reaction when he comes back. So he's again running near perfect sag settings with his luggage on, as they ride with their luggage on most of the time. This is what we set the bikes up for, but if they weren't going to be using luggage that much, we'd probably set it up with just their rider weight. Steph and Simon have just been working on Simon's bike outside. Meanwhile, John and Ash have been doing Steph's bike. She's on the level 1 fork upgrade kit, so much like the shock, that's 40mm less stroke. And that leaves the bike a little bit lower, but again, like we said, just because it's lower, it doesn't mean it's less usable travel. Because of the upgrade in suspension, she's actually going to end up with probably more usable travel, less fork dive, and a more stable, predictable front end. So John's just finishing off the fork kits. Unfortunately, I'm not going to be around to film the rest of their transformation. I've got to go and get ready. I'm going away to Spain this weekend. I'm going to ride northern Spain on the T.E.T trails with the BMW G310 GS and a couple of other guys. They've got CRF with the rally raid suspension, KTM 690 with some rally raid bits in as well, so it's going to be a good laugh. Now I've got to go and pick up some tyres, get my bike finished off. Just 2 days left to go, and obviously I'm not ready yet, so I need to go and crack on with that. So we're going to do a full video rundown of the forks and shock in full detail of how to fit them, things you need to look out for and how to tune them, and that'll be coming up in the next few weeks. So I hope everyone goes out for a ride this weekend and doesn't come off.
Send that.